and gentlemen, we're having a few technical problems here at KEW Towers. Aha! Technical problems. There we go, as I'm sure you can hear via the extra voice. We are indeed now live and kicking, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get things kicking off here then. We saw, of course, in the Royal Rumble, the dramatic return of Benji back from the grave, many have said, in the KEW, back to where he belongs in the squared circle. And Benji, the Red Ranger, is fired up and ready to try and reclaim some sort of honour in the KEW in the closing weeks and months of the KEW season here. Benji fired up, ready and raring to go, I dare say, after a long layoff. A layoff, of course, brought about by a horrific ambulance match against his arch nemesis, and now the KEW champion, the Skeleton King, who, since knocking Benji off in that match, saw his star rise in the KEW to claim the throne at the top. And I'm sure Benji will not have noticed that hasn't gone unnoticed by him, if you like, and is going to be motivated to go after that KEW title. And that starts right here this evening, ladies and gentlemen. He will start again at the bottom of the power rankings, but it is a juggernaut who sits at the bottom of the power rankings waiting for him. As you can see, he's stripped off the Red Ranger outfit and is ready there. And it is going to be the Tangerine Dream himself. The Tange, of course, in something of a Tange slump of recent, but he is ready and raring to go for this, I dare say. He knows that Benji's not going to be an easy task. He needs to end the Tange slump if he's going to get a run in at the KEW title here and slide his way up those power rankings in time for the next main pay-per-view. It is going to be a long and arduous task back for the Tange. He's going to have to fight his way up that KEW power rankings table. He knows it. And the question is, though, can he get the job done here with an early, stiff test against Benji? That is a big, big ask, ladies and gentlemen. Even though Benji coming off months' worth of layoffs, it is not going to be an easy task to get over the technical submission prowess of Benji. He's coming into this fresh and rested, although maybe a little ring rusty, you have to say. The Tange has plenty of rust around him at the moment, and not just with his tangerine rusty coloured hair and beard. It is the rust that has been hanging off him in that Tange slump. Can he get over it, ladies and gentlemen? Can he get back to winning ways here? We shall find out very shortly. Here we go then, the bell sounds, the two combatants into the arena, they step, and Tange gets the early upper hand here. A few vicious hits and has Benji on the shoulders. Oh, drops him neck first, immediately testing that neck of Benji. We know it's surgically repaired the neck, and the Tange is targeting it early here. He, of course, suffered horrific injuries at the hands of the Skeleton King in that ambulance match. It was a major operation on the spine, on the neck of Benji. Many people thought that was his KEW career over, but Tange taking the mick now, in and out of the ropes, and again targeting the head and the neck area of Benji. Bouncing the neck again off the canvas there, and now targeting the arms. Goes for an early cover as well, trying to potentially wear down Benji, get the psychological edge over him if he's not already got it here. Benji well and truly looks like the ring rust is on him. Can he compete back at the high levels we saw in the KEW, where he was a two-time KEW champion? Well, Tange just turned his back here and gets called out in the corner there, caught cold by Benji. Maybe Tange thought he'd done a little more damage than he potentially had there. Tange wrenching the arm now. Sorry, not Tange, Benji. Targeted assault on the, of course, former two-time KEW champion. Two former two-time champions in the ring here, taking it out on one another. Really going after one another in this early encounter in the KEW this evening. It was all Tanj to start, and now Benji's got the swing of the momentum here, and he is now in control of this one, stomping Tanj on the back, maybe taking out some of that aggression, that pent-up rage that he's had from months of sitting in the hospital, having to watch everybody else in the KW have their way. Now Tanj parading Benji around, drops him face first on the top turnbuckle. Again, going after the arms of Benji, trying to weaken those submission holds that he knows Benji has in his locker there. It's all Tanj once again. These two, of course, are familiar with one another. They have come across each other multiple times in the KW. Oh, as my bread maker goes off in the background. Hold there, ladies and gentlemen, the commentator will be right back. He missed a substantial bit of action there as Tanj got Benji onto the shoulders. Looked like he was going for the Tanj knockout there, but it seemed that Benji managed to get the better of it at the last second, get some knees into the head of Tanj and break it up. He has Tanj now though on the floor, going after those knees, working those submission holds. And Benji trying to build his way back into this one, picks the Tanj up, whips him down by the neck now, and a big shot to the spine of Tanj. Up to the top rope goes Benji here, climbing high, diving with another massive body splash off the top here, and that might be good night for Tanjers. It was all Tanj to get this one started, but it's been all Benji since then pretty much. Gets the kick into the guts there and off the ropes, and went for the butt splash, but Tanj sees it coming and big boots him on the floor as he rolls that boot straight across the face of Benji, and you can see Benji again holding the head and the neck area, that surgically repaired neck from the horrific ambulance match with the Skeleton King, and I'm sure the Skeleton King will be watching this one backstage, watching the Tanj taking apart his arch nemesis Benji as Tanj beats the floor, big clothesline drives Benji down, another vicious strong style clothesline, under he goes, and the body slam there, the power slam, whipping Benji over, and all of a sudden the momentum shifted straight back to the Tanj man. He lifts him high onto the shoulders, and it's time for Benji to go to sleep, and there it is, down he goes. He's dangerously close to the ropes for a rope break here though. Benji rolls the shoulder at 2. I thought he had it there. He could have also gone for the ropes, Benji, but perhaps doesn't know quite where he is. Dizzy and confused, Tanj beats the mat again, looking now for the Tanj knockout blow, and there it is, Tanj knockout blow. Down goes Benji, and surely that's got to be enough to put Benji away now from Tanj. Feet on the ropes as well, but the referee spotted the ropes. He spotted the feet on the ropes and broke it up at the last second there, and Tanj not making the most of his opportunities. Benji gets the shot in to the back as he hops over the top of him, spins him around, and now it's going to be a Benji lock on the floor. He does, wraps around him on the floor here. He might have the airways cut off from Tanj, trying to put him to sleep on the floor, rolls him out of it at the last second though. The referee says you've got to let go, lad. He's spent here, and now Benji, look at this, he's taking the top turnbuckle off here. Despicable stuff from Benji. We've seen a real nasty streak from Benji, of course, since he was in that horrific match beforehand, when he was in that heated rivalry with Mark. Goes for the body splash for a third time off the top rope and misses. It was during that heated rivalry, of course, with Mark that left to that ambulance match that, of course, knocked Benji out for many months. And there's a running knee strike from Tanj straight to the side of the head of Benji here, and a big stomp to the guts. Of course, it was during that heated rivalry Benji saw the real momentum shift and the real headspace switch as well. He really got himself in a different place where he decided he needs to be the one who needs to be the aggressor and needs to be a little more underhand, if you like, in the KEW. And I think the referee's dealing with the pad in the corner currently as Tanj puts Benji upside down in the corner here. What kind of vindictive punishment does Tanj have here? Now just look at that, running the boot right into the face of Benji, who rolls out smartly for a break, and the referee now back into the course of action. But Benji outside swiftly with some kicks to Tanj here, whips him over, and big shot to the spine of Tanjers. who's swiftly back to his feet, but Tanj now died. Oh, I thought he was going to send Benji into the steps for a second there. I don't think he quite got his angle right. And then, oh, the nasty shots to the back. You see him draped over the apron there. It looked like he caught his chin on the apron on the way down. It looks like Benji is bleeding as well. Now sent into the steps, driven into those steel stairs on the outside. And Benji is in for a round of punishment here. His welcome back to the KW is going to be a painful one full of ice packs. Can he somehow summon up one last hurrah, though, to get it over on the Tanj? And of course the Tanj will be disappointed that he was unable to get the victory after the Tanj knockout and the Tanj to sleep combination that he pulled off, and then getting the feet on the ropes, and the referee seeing the unfair advantage of the feet on the ropes as Benji pushes off the Tanj at the last second there. Furious strikes from Benji. Oh, rolls him over now and has him in an arm lock right next to the ropes. Tanj, is he going to tap out though? The damage may be done to Tanj's arm there, but look at this. Oh, the big fella's powering it up. Gets a few shots into the side of Benji's head there and gets the arm just free in time. Big shot from Tanj. Just doesn't look out as much impact as perhaps Tanj would have wanted there. And Benji back with a few furious strikes. Maybe that damage done by Benji to Tanj's arm. And now look at this. Benji again taking that pad off the top corner of the turnbuckle here. He loves to use it as a distraction for the referee. Working now around the Tanj. Has the submission hold cinched in, and is Tanj going to tap out at this point? Oh no, managed to break his way free of it at the last second there, but again, the arm, you can see him clutching the shoulders. And now goes for a Tanj knockout out of nowhere! Knockout out of nowhere, ladies and gentlemen. Hooks the legs. 1, 2. Oh, but Benji kicks out at the last second. How on earth has he done that, ladies and gentlemen? These two men going for an epic backwards and forwards here, and now Tanj has something snapped in between him. Big shot to Benji's head here. He beats his chest. He's got hold of him again. You can see the blood ripping down the head of Benji. Goodness gracious me, and Tanj takes in the applause of the KW faithful as Benji gets a boot up at the last second now and deflects the Tanj off, and Tanj crawls to the corner slow. His arms must be absolutely killing him after those submission holds from Benji. Lifts him high to the top rope, top corner turnbuckle now. Gets hold of him here, and it's going to be a bottom rope DDT off the turnbuckle. Nasty landing for Tanj. It looked like folded over on himself, that full body weight compressing on his neck, but he's back to his feet here. But again, you can see slow, both men slow back to their feet. Now Benji driven into that turnbuckle that he'd uncovered himself, and Tanj knocks him back into the corner with a dive at the knees. Now he's going after the arm of Benji. I'm surprised he didn't use the extra momentum to shovel him back into the corner of the unprotected ring area there, and drags him out, lands him back first in the centre of the ring. Benji in big trouble now as he crawls to the corner, slow back to his feet in that unprotected, unpadded turnbuckle area. Again, gets the elbow up at the last second, and now runs to the other corner, hops off both ropes and gets a drop kick in straight in the face of Tanj's. A 2-footed drop kick from Benji. I thought he was going to go back to the top rope there, but turns his attention back to Tanj as we get to the heated final moments of this one. Building his way back up to it now. Benji climbing to the top rope here, but Tanj is back up to his feet, sees Benji coming, but no chance to get his way around it as Benji gets in a nice hurricanrana from the top rope, sending Tanj down to the matting here. Now goes after him, might have the submission hold locked in, looks like he might do here. Is he going to cut the airways off of Tanj? Is he going to tap out here, ladies and gentlemen, or is Tanj just going to fade away from existence here? He taps, the Tanj taps. Benji takes it on his return to the KW, ladies and gentlemen. A phenomenal win for Benji, you have to say. What a return. Bloodied, battered, bruised. He'll be in with the ice packs, but he will say, Skeleton King, beware, my charge is coming. I have won my first match back in the KW, one match at a time. That's what the one finger stands for. That's what he's told us on social media beforehand. He said if he wins, he'll hold up his one finger to show one match at a time, and he's coming for the KW title. Of course, the Skeleton King will be defending that title, as I'm sure you saw there later this evening, ladies and gentlemen. We now have to switch our attention, though, back to the tag division with tag team action, seeing, of course, the combination power of the safety men taking on the men of science.
The following contest is a tag team tables match, and at a combined weight of 4.
Yet, of course, remember, they broke apart the safety men, came back together, and now they are looking a formidable tag team. Couldn't quite get over the line in time to get into a title shot, but They have been in good form as a tag partnership again, as Andrew rolls through the ropes there, and of course a firefighter in the ring ready for him. The pair of them motivating each other for damage and punishment here. This one you may have caught the eyes as well, was a tables match, and of course was shocked and discovered to see that the return of the Spiklops here as well. And the Men of Science, not a well-loved tag team in the KEW. No one was requesting them to be back anytime soon, but here they are.
363 pounds.
363 pounds of scientific brain and brawn. Of course, they had their fair share of dealings with the Coven. Of course, the Coven slipped in their tag team title belts, losing out to the Misfits at the last main pay-per-view, Big Bird's Bash. And these men here will know that they are surely only a win away from facing the Coven to move up the tag team power rankings and get a shot at the title in the coming weeks. A bold move then from the Spiklops here, stepping back into the ring in his first match back in, being a tables match. Of course, these tables matches can go one of two ways. They'll either be over super swiftly in the blink of an eye, where one person gets catapulted over the ring accidentally into a table, or they'll go the distance, of course. This one, I think, looks set to do the latter. Early doors, it appears that the firefighter, and both the firefighter and Atomic Andy, well, it looked like for a minute the firefighter had an upper hand, but now it looks like both of them are in a measure of trouble here as the Men of Science look to take control of this one early. Andy's been absolutely dominated by the Spiklops. It looks like the extra rest has done him the power of good here. He took some time, he thought he retired from action, he'd been forced to retire, but with the wording being that, of course, the KEW may be coming to an end at the end of this season, he's decided to pull himself out of retirement for one last shot at the titles, one last shot at the tag team belts, one last shot at whatever titles are on display for him. In his early doors here, he's absolutely dominated Atomic Andy. Now the Firefighters left him to 2-on-1 almost in the ring, but now the Spiklops rolls out of the ring and Do Jeans goes after him with a big drop there right under the chin. And the Spiklops throwing down on the outside as the Firefighter as well, taken care of by Do Jeans in the corner. Now Atomic Andy picking up the Spiklops on the outside and launching him across the outside area. Big kick there as Do Jeans picks up the table. Looks like he's got to flip it down and get it set up in the middle of the ring. Oh, crossbody, dangerously close to putting the Do Jeans through the table, and another crossbody there, and it looks like Atomic Andy's been caught flush there as well by the Spiklops on the outside. He's trying to take too much time. Oh, big Samoan drive from him on the outside as well, and Do Jeans taking a measure of control of the safety men as Atomic Andy's flying back into the ring and knocks the table over in the process here as the Spiklops heads outside of the ring here. I did wonder if he was going after the table, but couldn't quite figure it out. Now Atomic Andy climbs to the outside here. The Spiklops taking his time in the ring to celebrate as Andy folds up the table and slides it inside as on the outside. Oh, through the table goes the Firefighter. I said that can happen, and it's the Men of Science with the victory. Safety squared, nowhere to be seen. The Men of Science get the win, and they will advance within the tag team division power rankings, ladies and gentlemen. They'll be taking on the Coven in the coming weeks for that number one contender spot. You can see the safety men there look absolutely distraught with themselves. Are they going to consider whether they need to be a tag team anymore? Are they going to split up again, ladies and gentlemen? You'd have to see and wait and see there. But it looked like Do Jeans clipping the edge of the table, breaking the table with the Firefighters back and head, and that was enough to secure the victory there, ladies and gentlemen. We were to one of our two championship matches for the evening. Of course, we were prized at every time in the KEW. Between now and next main pay-per-view, titles will be on the line, whether that's the main title, the Hardcore Championship, or the tag team titles. And this week we've got the double of the Hardcore Championship and the KEW Championship, both on the line. And of course, the BFG lost out in the Hardcore Championship match to the Hardcore Champion, the Mystery. And this man here went through the ringer, went through the bells with, of course, the Demon. He wasn't victorious there, but he somehow fouled his way upwards to get himself a championship shot. And of course, he is a man who's been chasing this belt for a while. Can he dethrone the Mystery, ladies and gentlemen? Can he finally get some bronzeware around his waist? I'm sure that will anger everyone in the locker room at how he's been almost gifted this opportunity. Many people in the hardcore division feel that he wasn't the right choice for this match, that he's been gifted it somewhat by the hierarchy in the KEW. He doesn't care. He knows he's here to win the bronzeware, win the Hardcore Championship, and prove that he's not more than just a punchline. But he will know that this may be his last chance to do it. Big pressure on him, big weight on the shoulders for him. Here then, the Hardcore Champion, of course, defeating the BFG for the Hardcore Championship. It's the first time anyone's been able to defeat the BFG in a Hardcore Championship match where the BFG has been the challenger. Every time he's been the challenger, he's won that belt back. He is the Hardcore Champion of champions, you'd have to say. And now the Mystery holds the belt. But how long can the Mystery hold on to it for? Time will tell, ladies and gentlemen, whether it's going to be King Daddy's belt to defend next week in the KEW, whether it's going to be the Mystery's belt to defend until he loses it, of course. He is a worthy Hardcore Champion. Going the distance, of course, with the BFG is no easy feat, especially when the title's on the line. The BFG really ups his game when he sees that bronzeware. He really wants to win it, I can tell you, ladies and gentlemen. Hardcore Championship action up for you now then, ladies and gentlemen.
Introducing the challenger from Bray, County Wicklow, Ireland, weighing in at 266 pounds.
There he is, King Daddy, ready and rearing to go, and of course the Mystery in the opposite side of the ring.
The Hardcore Champion.
The Hardcore Champion that is the Mystery. This one then, ladies and gentlemen, could be a real slobber knocker. I think we've got a good one on our hands here. Don't like to toot my own horn too much, but I really do feel this one is going to be an absolute cracker, ladies and gentlemen. Not like the somewhat disappointing match we just had in the tag division. I think that King Daddy is looked in resplendent form. He even decided to try and take on the Demon, and of course the Demon will be waiting in the wings for whoever is the victor of our final match for the evening. What we do know, ladies and gentlemen, is the Torpedo, of course, won the Royal Rumble. We'll come on to that when it's their match. But we do know that King Daddy really went the distance with the Shinigami. Was unlucky on a few occasions not to get a few wins against him, but anyone who can go the distance with the Demon deserves somewhat of a reward. Of course, King Daddy given that reward here by giving a shot at the Hardcore Championship, a shot which he'll be keen to take, I'm sure, although he started very slowly here early doors, and it is often the case where we've seen the Mystery is an athlete who likes to come out early, get the advantage, and then really work from it from there. But big kick to the guts now as the King Daddy looks to take advantage from the mistake from the Mystery, and a mistake from King Daddy as well. A little bit of a potential rust here early doors. Neither wrestler showing their best stuff, trying to just get a early advantage. A little bit of lack of focus perhaps from both men, perhaps a little bit distracted. Perhaps the Mystery knows that, of course, the longer you're the champion, the more it must weigh on your mind. Who am I facing next? Who's my next opponent? You can't really plan or scout for them in weeks in advance. You have to just prepare 1 week at a time and know who's coming. It doesn't give you a lot of opportunity to really scout your opponent, really build up that knowledge of what they do in the ring, facing off against them. You've really got to try and rely on just your own wrestling instincts. So perhaps that's where the Mystery is looking to take advantage of this one here, as he rolls out of the ring and goes looking for a trash can early doors. And here comes King Daddy. That's a silly move, as he's given the trash can to the back of the head and then throwing it on the floor. Might look like he's got a bit of blood, I can't quite tell. A bit of blood maybe dripping from the head of King Daddy already as he's driven into those stairs. vicious assaults here from the Mystery, and the KEW champion looks resplendent so far. The Hardcore Championship on the line here. The Mystery has been in total control of this one so far, but now King Daddy maybe looking for a measure of revenge as he drives him into the barricade. Big hit there, sends the Mystery down to the outside as he whips the head into the side. I think the King Daddy was looking for something there, but he didn't manage to find anything, just finds the stairs yet again as the Mystery was too swiftly back to his feet for King Daddy to notice. Now the Mystery charging after him on the outside, rolls him over right in front of the fans, right in front of that small child in the front row, giving him a shot to the spine. Now a few swift rights as well. That's ordered him a German suplex on the outside. That's a vicious place to be given a suplex, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. That German suplex on those thin matting on the outside is no joke at all. Furious elbows here from King Daddy to battle back out of this one. He targets the Mystery yet again, sends him down to the outside, and runs after him. It's been all Mystery though so far. King Daddy's got to do something to try and reverse the fortunes of this one. Drives the head into the barricade now, into the KW ring there, and that might be the change in fortunes that he needs. Big punch there as well, sends him down to the floor. Now King Daddy looks missed punch there. It looks like he's a bit dazed and confused. Maybe that trash can to the head has done significant damage, and look at this, rubbing his face into the floor. Nasty stuff from the Mystery. The Mystery now picks up a ladder from out under the ring, following the King Daddy around with it, slides it into the ring now, and this is a dangerous thing to have in the ring, because it's not just a weapon to be picked up, but it's a weapon if you get dropped on top of it as well, and that might be what be about to happen here. But King Daddy catches him at the last second, averting disaster, and now maybe he's going to look to put him down on top of the ladder, but blocked as well by the Mystery. Both men averting disaster with that ladder in the ring. And look at this, the arm almost limply dangling over the edge of the Mystery's shoulder there. Has it cinched in here and goes after the arm again. Big kick to the guts from King Daddy. And the low blow! The Mystery's riding the canasters. It could be a new Hardcore champion here, ladies and gentlemen. 1, 2... rolls the shoulder at the last second, and you can see King Daddy a little surprised potentially that Mystery got his shoulders up after the low blow, driving the air out of the lungs. You can see he looks a bit slow getting back to his feet. He's got a sledgehammer now, King Daddy, and he's saying to the Mystery, well, go and get your own weapon from under the ring. The Mystery has the kendo stick. Who can swing fastest? It's the sledgehammer to the guts here. Now King Daddy doing the damage with a sledgehammer, and that's an equalizer in this one, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, but he missed the opportunity and gets a big knee, and now the Mystery has hold of the sledgehammer and looks to go after King Daddy with the big shots to the guts here, returning the favour, going after King Daddy, who's rolling around, writhing in pain on the floor, and the Mystery unrelenting with this assault on the outside, a sickening assault if you like, but he gets up at the last second. A big crossbody drives the Mystery down to the floor. How has King Daddy got anything left after receiving that many blows from a sledgehammer into the guts? It shows you the determination, the real battle that he has to try and get over the line here and become the KEW's Hardcore champion. He's an athlete who really wants it, and you can see the blood dripping from his head here. Going after the Mystery's face now with a few furious right hands there. The Mystery rolling around, kicking that trash can, and now King Daddy goes to search for something, another implement of destruction under the ring. Comes up, what's he got now? He's got the steel chair. Whipped out of his hands at the last second by the Mystery, though. Managed to catch him in the act, and the Mystery's going to go back under the ring, it looks like, for his own weapon of destruction. He tried going for the kendo stick before, but can King Daddy catch him out cold here? He's pulling the ladder out. He's wedging it in between the two. Well, that's never a good sign, ladies and gentlemen, when you get the ladder put in between here, as King Daddy comes under the ladder and then catches the Mystery out with a little right jab there. Big diving punch, and the Mystery could be in some trouble now if King Daddy wants to isolate him on the outside with that ladder in position. It's not a position that the Mystery will want to be in, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. We've seen those ladders used to devastating effect in the KW before, where they've been spread over between the apron and the table, and a running DDT on the outside drives the King Daddy down to the floor. Taking him back towards the ring now. Into the ring he goes. He might have averted disaster with the ladder so far. Is it only a temporary measure as King Daddy now looks to take control of this one again? Big right hander there, driving the Mystery down. The Mystery looks dazed and confused, and it could be a pile driver. He puts the finger to the sky, pile driver there, sending the Mystery down to the ground, and now we might have a new hardcore champion, ladies and gentlemen. A low blow on a pile driver. Not many athletes kick out of that. Oh, but the Mystery does somehow, and you can see King Daddy frustrated. I thought that was going to be a new KW champion. Goodness gracious me, so close, ladies and gentlemen, so close to a new champion, you'd have to say. King Daddy frustrated by what's gone on in the ring, and now a reversal of fortunes will roll up by the Mystery. Oh, just a kick out at 2 from King Daddy, and the Mystery might look to put things away now. King Daddy driven out of the ring now, and again dangerously close to that ladder. You'll have to watch his surroundings here, ladies and gentlemen, as the Mystery goes searching for his own implement of destruction on the outside. What can he find? Nothing, it appears, so far. Whatever he did have, he's put down pretty swiftly. Thought better of it, potentially. Locking up now with the King Daddy on the outside. Both athletes not giving anything here. You can see what the Hardcore Championship means to both of them. The question is, are we going to see a change in fortunes here? Is this going to be it for King Daddy? Did he put everything into that pile driver? It didn't look like he did. It looked like he was a little laboured, a little slow, couldn't quite get the power and the leverage behind it that he normally does. Driven into the table. Now nasty snap DDT on the outside as well, and he looks like he's in trouble again, does King Daddy. Driven down to the floor though, and again a change around of fortunes, and this one really is a real backwards and forwards here, ladies and gentlemen. King Daddy dipping under the ring, under the ladder. It's like he's going for a weapon. He's got the steel chair, puts it down though at the last second. Well, he's wasted so much time, slides under the ladder. I'm not so sure that he needed to be that dramatic about it, but look at that, took way too much time, and the Mystery now a running knee right to the face of King Daddy, dips under the ladder himself and looks to go over the steel steps here, back over them, and both athletes here wasting time. I'm not quite sure what the Mystery's trying to do, as King Daddy is slow back to his feet, and the Mystery I don't think has seen him. King Daddy sliding under there, and the Mystery might have seen it at the last second, but it's all a bit too late as King Daddy gives him the kick and the snap DDT on the outside, spiking the Mystery's head off the padded surface on the outside area and whips him back into the ring. You'd have to think if King Daddy can either get a share, deliver some chair shots, deliver a pile driver on that ladder, then it might be good night for the Mystery. Took too long about that one though, and the Mystery saw it coming, and now he's on the ladder, and this is where we said we've seen the devastation before delivered from here. The big backdrop puts King Daddy square through the ladder. Both men's bodies broken here, ladies and gentlemen. The Mystery crawls back to his feet, slowly marches over to King Daddy. Surely this has got to be it now. He's got to just get him back into the ring. Elbow drop across the chest. It's already probably caved in the ribs of King Daddy. Flips him over here, has hold of the legs. Oh, but King Daddy with a kick at the last second here to avert disaster, and goes for the crossbody. That must have been everything left. I'm not sure how King Daddy has managed to do this, ladies and gentlemen. It shows you the real determination this man has to win the Hardcore Championship. Throws the Mystery back into the ring, climbs into the ring himself, slow back into the ring. Both athletes looking worn out. Gives him the kick to the guts here, points to the sky, and another pile driver incoming. Another one just avoided the steel chair, rolls over for the cover, and surely this has got to be it now. 1, 2, 3, a new Hardcore Champion is born. He dug in, he fought, he got put through a ladder, ladies and gentlemen. The spirit of the Hardcore division alive and kicking with King Daddy. Goodness gracious me, what a battle, what a fight. A new Hardcore Champion is born. The Mystery relinquishes the belt. King Daddy wins the Hardcore Championship. Who will he have to defend that against in the coming weeks in the KEW, ladies and gentlemen? He doesn't know, we don't know. But look at that resplendent figure in the corner, thrusting the tummy outwards for all to see, the crown embellished on it. and the crotch, of course, and everything else involved with King Daddy there, as we'll focus our attention then to the final match for this evening that sees, of course, the Royal Rumble winner using up that Royal Rumble victory to get you that title shot as he now takes on the KEW champion, the Skeleton King.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall and is for the Classic Championship.
Of course, there is somewhat of a rivalry in history between these two athletes. KEW fans will long remember, of course, the challenger here, the Torpedo, in one of his first matches in the KEW, took on what was Mark the Magnificent back then. Lost to Mark, but gave him a cheeky slap after the final bell. Mark, of course, vowed revenge, took him on in a tables match after that, but he has since then been much the forgotten man between that rivalry. Nothing else really came of that. Mark said that he was insignificant, he wasn't a wrestler he was worried about in the KEW, and of course, just before the KEW's pay-per-view, Mark took on the power couple, one half of the power couple that was the Man Crusher, and lost that match, and now faces the other half of the power couple. You have to wonder, of course, what psychological damage it's going to do having the Man Crusher ringside. Mark, of course, lost to the Man Crusher, then was eliminated, embarrassingly so, within seconds in the Royal Rumble by the Man Crusher. Straight in, straight back out. And that ended his opportunity to be a double KEW champion, winning both the Hardcore Championship, potentially, and the KEW Championship, holding both belts at once. It would have been a real aplomb for him, but he would have had to have run the length of the KEW gauntlet to get there. He has, though, vowed that since he's been embarrassed by, of course, one half of the power couple and by that man in the ring, his opponent for this evening, that he's not going to hold back here. He said, you want the Skeleton King, you got His Majesty before, now you're going to get the Demon King himself, the King of the Dead. He said that the King died and then was reborn as the Skeleton King. His Majesty passing away, of course, in the off-season and being reborn as this much more aggressive, much more unhinged version of Mark. We've seen him, of course, come to the ring with the chair before. He comes now with the KEW Championship. The championship that he will defend this evening, of course. He's defended it successfully already. A couple of occasions, taking on the Firefighter and putting him past him. You can see here, it looks like he's having words already, telling the Torpedo to go and shove it where the sun doesn't shine. It might have been there. So he steps into the ring. But yes, he of course defended successfully against the Firefighter, winning that championship match pretty succinctly. A little shimmy of the chest there as well, almost Eddie Guerrero-esque. And he's been resplendent since then, up until he faced the Man Crusher, who of course is staring down on the outside, a little tentative there. So he was looking at the Man Crusher. You can see already the psychology it's had on him, and you'd have to wonder, will the Man Crusher play an impact on the outside, ladies and gentlemen? It's not often we have one of these championship matches where we have someone ringside. And the Torpedo will definitely look to take full advantage of this opportunity that's almost been gifted to him.
From London, England, weighing in at 167 pounds, the Classic Champion,
Championship on offer. There we go, shown off to both men. Lifted high above the ring, of course, was the Torpedo winning the Rumble. knocking off the firefighter in the closing minutes of the Royal Rumble. Won him this opportunity to take on the KEW champion. We knew immediately whoever won the Rumble was going to have to cash it in straight away, and Mark making an early mistake there, missing the leg drop off the ropes as he gets cross-bodied by the torpedo off the ropes. Had to return, and a 2 count early doors. That was almost a change of championships immediately. You could say that the distraction on the outside of having the Man Crusher out there is getting in ahead of the KEW champion already. He's started a little slow here. He looked like he caught the torpedo cold, but now it's the torpedo he has almost nothing to lose in this one. He wasn't expected to get the KEW title shot, so it's a real opportunity for him to push forward here. Off the ropes goes Mark with his own crossbody and goes for his own cover here as well. A 2 count to return the favour from the former 2 count as well. Now he's got to go for it again. Off the ropes, catching on the hips of him, spinning round and delivering the facebuster down to the matting here. These are, of course, 2 of the smaller athletes in the KEW. The Torpedo, one of the smallest men on the roster, and of course His Majesty, no giant either. Sorry, the Skeleton King, shouldn't refer to him as His Majesty, but the difference between the 2 athletes couldn't be wider in style, with the Skeleton King preferring much more of a high-flying style, much more high-tempo, high-pace. The Torpedo likes to keep it a little slower, does have the ability to get off the ropes as we've seen, but also has the ability to mix it up in the ring. That looked like an early Torpedo driver on the outside, and this might be a change of championship coming inbound, ladies and gentlemen. We're up to a 5 count. He's trying to get him back in the ring, can't quite manage it. Belly to, or back to belly, and now he's always doing the spinneroonie on his butt here. We're on a 7 count, of course. Champion's advantage here. The Torpedo won't want to get in the ring and not get back out and reset the count. He's calling for the Skeleton King to get back in, up to an 8 count. Well, the Skeleton King won't particularly care, I don't think. Up to a 9. Referee saying back in the ring as he slides in at the last second, and the Torpedo with his back turned thought he maybe got a win there, but of course maybe he's not checked the rule books. If you don't get the pinfall or submission, it's a champion's advantage. Oh, it's a massive moonsault onto the back of the Torpedo there, rolls him over and goes for the cover as the Man Crusher on the outside trying to G up the crowds, and now it looks like the Skeleton King is getting a little bit frustrated as he's whipped down to the floor, and frustrated he might well be. He's not looked good here in the opening minutes and the exchanges here, and as he's flipped onto his front there, Marcus, the Torpedo goes for the cover. The ref slow down to it, distracted by the Man Crusher perhaps, but just a 1 count as Mark kicks out. Mark's in trouble here though, ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you, as he rolls under the ropes for a bit of safety and protection here. It's all Torpedo, and the 2 of them here going at one another, ladies and gentlemen, as they jump to the outside and now back into the ring here. An odd sequence there, it looked like neither man knew what to do. A little cross chop there, catches Mark, but then he catches the Torpedo cold as he looked to go off the ropes, as Mark takes him around, puts him on the ropes now, and then maybe looks to do some damage here, launches him to the outside. And what's Mark got in store here? Looks like he's getting his man set. Off the ropes he goes, diving, driving drop kick through the ropes there. Nasty baseball slide drop kick, as the referee begins the count on the outside, onto a 2 count now, as he's sent back into the ring. The Torpedo, His Magnificence now climbing, undoing the toe. Looked like he was trying to undo the turnbuckle ropings, but the Torpedo got back up quickly onto a 5 count as the Torpedo dives out of the ring, catching Mark cold again. And again, we remind you, ladies and gentlemen, champion's advantage in effect. If the count out happens, Mark retains the championship. The Torpedo will have wasted his opportunity, and now look at that, throws him down to the outside, hops in and looks to recover for a second, because it has been all Torpedo so far, and Mark has looked distracted and confused in the ring. He knows he's got his work cut out for him at this point, ladies and gentlemen. The KEW Championship might be changing hands as a reverse DDT drives the Torpedo down to the mat. Off the ropes it goes, crossbody. Now the momentum starts to pick up for the KEW Champion, and this is where he does his best work. When he gets the momentum up, when he gets the tempo up, then he can really look to inflict some damage here, ladies and gentlemen. Kick to the crotch here, kicks him and then holds him in, and then flips over. Nasty crown crusher there as he rolls down limply the Torpedo, and that might have been enough to put the Torpedo away, ladies and gentlemen. It is. It's a 3. The crown crusher destroying the skull of the Torpedo. Well, he said he was going to embarrass the Torpedo. He was almost the one embarrassed. He retains the championship, but only just. He snatches it away. You can see, look at that, showing it off right in front of the Man Crusher, who I'm sure will not be pleased with that, ladies and gentlemen, but he knows he's going to have a task on his hand next week at the KW, ladies and gentlemen. We know that's on offer every week, that championship. And we know one thing. It's the demon who waits him, ladies and gentlemen. The demon lurking in the shadows. He will be who Mark will face. Who will be the next man up for the KW Championship? Join us next week to find out for more thrilling KW action. Thank you for watching and goodbye.